to talk about. Now I'm going to talk about Luma Corp. See, a corp is something that's dead. Ill is something when your brain cells are damaged or something, or you're just sick, your body. And my corp. So they're going to make you ill because you, and they say they're saying that I am going to say, they're saying that I am their corp, or any TI is their corp, because if you have a birth certificate, they can kill you if they want to, because you have the birth certificate, and the birth certificate is just cause for them to kill you, because you are only a corpse anyway. That's what someone told me that the birth certificate meant, and to me that was just an excuse for the pink people to keep us in slavery and keep killing us. And then there was a slave movie, and they did say back then we didn't have papers. When I got off the phone, and I got through with the video, I say, damn, yeah, we did. The master knew who his slaves was. They were on a piece of paper. He knew when you were born and everything. That's like a birth certificate too. He knew what day he bought you. He knew what how much he paid for you, and he knew what name he gave you. And then he knew what position he gave you. If he changed your position, your birth certificate changes. So now they come up with another way of a birth certificate, which actually it should be a certificate of birth, and it actually came from us. It was something that so-called Black Wall Street, Marcus Garvey, Prophet Noble Jew, Green Bay, and then there's a brother in Philly. But this was back in the 1920s. This is not the brother that they came and bombed in 83. That's the year I came to Yahweh, in 83. I think it was in 83 or somewhere around that time. Not him, not the move people. So when this come on, it's going to show you this big old ball, like the sun is hot, and then it goes into this. Then it goes down. But it comes in so fast, you will not see the F for frequencies. And it comes in, you will not see that F if you do not know that it is there. This is an A for Aleister Crowley. Even on the dollar bill, people wanted to say, oh, it's the all-seeing eye, this and that. Well, the all-seeing eye is the satellite. And that thing that is on the top of the dollar, that is something that Aleister Crowley, some form of a hat, that Aleister Crowley wore on his head. And Aleister Crowley swore he will be omnipresent, and he is, because you don't know whom is actually following Aleister Crowley. But Luma Corp, they're going to throw us into the Aleister Crowley shit anyway. And this here is part one. I saw it in whole, and I didn't even watch this. I just thought, well, maybe it is one. It is the one I saw just coming in two parts, because people will, once you put something up, then people take hold to that and they run with it. So other people put it on the page. Then there's one that says Luma Corp debunked. And the reason they say it's debunked, it has something to do with the symbols they're using and saying, oh, this is over in this area and this is here, But I don't look at all the symbols because I really don't know the symbols, but someone does. But I look at the hidden things, like the A and the F for frequency. See, it will go down F for frequency. Then it starts to come in so fast, you will not see the F. Speaking of the F, I want to talk about Juneteenth. It was the day of my grandbaby's graduation out of 8th grade. She will not be going to high school, not public school. My daughter's tired of that shit. Her babies will now be homeschooled. In high school, they're going to be homeschooled. My daughter saw that, the school, her children can be straight A's in school, but when they come home, they have all U's. And so she doesn't like the fact they give a lot of energy to the school, and the school is not even teaching them how to be professional in their own business. They want teaching them how to knock on doors to ask to beg for jobs, and not to be independent of themselves, but to be dependent on the government, because you're going to a government school. Of course, the government wants money. They want to keep using you to get their income. So Juneteenth, I wake up. I went to sleep maybe at 2 in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 because I have to go across town. My daughter can't come pick me up because the graduation is 8 o'clock in the morning, which I've never heard of that before. And so I wake up at 4:30 to have some time to myself. I get dressed. I have my shoes on, everything. About 5:30, I wake my son up so he can walk me to the trolley. As I walk out of the door, they hit my left knee with frequency. And I guess they thought, since my left knee hurt so much, it was like, I bumped my knee and my knee felt as though it was swollen. I could barely bend my leg, And so I had to, my daughter picks me up from the trolley on her side of town, where my son-in-law. I go back to my daughter's house, and I hated to deal with those stairs, especially with my knee in the condition it was. But you know what? Fuck the motherfuckers. I did it. And then I had to come down the stairs, get in the car. Oh wow, she has like a truck kind of SUV. I need a ladder to get in, but I get in the car with the pain because, and then you know what? I wondered, can they only give me pain in one area at a time, because my back did not hurt at all, only my leg, and I felt like they did that because I'm used to my back hurting. I can deal with that, but I'm not used to my knee hurting. Okay, so we get in the car, we go to the graduation. Now we get out of the car at the school. It's a big school, and we had to walk a good ways to get to the area they're having the graduation in. And after the graduation, I had to walk back. However, my daughter and my son-in-law, they dropped the girls off, and then they took me downtown to the courthouse because I had to get to my baby girl. Her trial started Juneteenth, so they thought to barbecue my daughter. They would have barbecued her if I had not walked in that courtroom. They would have barbecued my daughter. They thought I wasn't coming. That's what they did. I think they knew I was coming, because I'm going to tell you that part. I guess they had them ready just in case I did. Okay, so now my daughter dropped me off in front of the courthouse. And now I have to walk down to the corner, around the corner, and then walk up the ramp. It's like, whoever is doing this shit for disabled people, they don't, for those of us who are disabled, I feel like maybe they don't have any disabled ones in their household or friends or whatever. And even if they do, they don't care. The way they make disabled stuff, to me, that's extra fucking walking. So, okay, so now I go into the courthouse, right? I'm the only one going through. And I look ahead of me. So there are the guys there, the deputies that, you have to be checked. So I take my jacket off. I have everything in my pockets. I take my jacket off, get one of the little bins, put it in there, and slide it through the, let me see what the fuck you got in your possession box, So, and then I have to push my walker through by itself, and then, they pull the seat up and check. And then when I walk through, I push my walker through, right? Now, there's like 3 or 4 deputies that's going to be there, to walk through this, let me see if you have any goddamn thing on your dumb ass, type of device or invention that they've made. However, once you walk through, there's a table. This is where you pick your things up. So right there, like maybe 3 or 4 steps away from that table, there are 3 more deputies. 2 pink men and melanated female. So as I walk through, the buzzer, the thing, it makes a little sound. And I just felt like it was my shoes, because the first time I went to my daughter's court day, I had those shoes on. And so I said, oh, it's my shoes. And he said, well, just go and stand over there and she's going to pat you down. So now here I am in all white, lace at that. I'm in all white, and I'm the only one being patted down, no one else. And they use the melanated chick to do so. And the reason they use the melanated chick, I think they're scared to touch me. So they figure, oh, we're going to let you touch her. And maybe that spirit that she has in her, that energy she has in her, for the pink man won't get on us. It'll get on you. However, the melanated female deputy, she was pretty cool, you know. And so as she, when I came through, I said, oh, I think it's my shoes. And she looked down, and I got so many compliments on my shoes. My grandbabies picked those shoes out for me, you know, a couple of months ago. So, she compliments my shoes and she begins to pat me down. And I'm wasted. You know, if I have to go somewhere and I feel like I have to walk a good distance, or I'm going to be doing a lot of walking, or I'm going back and forth here, there, and everywhere, I get wasted, because the corset, it really does help my back. It helps me to breathe. It really does help a lot. So as she passed me down, she asked me what it is, and as I'm saying I'm wasted, she's saying, is it whatever, you know, that the doctor gives you? But she used the word, and I said, no, it's a corset. I say it's better than what that little wrap that the doctor gives me. The only thing I did not like what she did, but it was cool, because sometimes, you know, I'll be wasted on the outside. You know, you'll see my corset on the outside. If I have a jacket on, you'll see my corset on the outside. So, and she just looked at the other deputies. It's like they were waiting for me, really. So she told the other deputies that, it's her corset. And then she asked me, was anything inside? Did I have anything under the corset? I said, sure, a lot of fat. It moves my fat and put it in right places. And she kind of giggled, and then she told them, oh, it's just her corset. So now I go upstairs, and wow, that courtroom, there are like 7, and with the bailiff makes 8 pink people against my one melanated baby girl. However, my son, he went with her. He missed the graduation to go with her, you know. And the Adjustment Bureau, they know they made those dates like that. And it's not just for me that they do this way, it's others, but others don't actually pay attention. You know, they may say, oh, it's so coincidental that this happened, but to me, there's no such thing as coincidence unless you're in a movie or a book. Then it's coincidence. But to my life, in my world, my child, and in my world is not coincidental. Okay, so we go through all of that. I'm not going to tell you all that. However, in a sense of a way, we did come out on top, because they told my baby girl she can get her son within 3 to 6 months, and she had to do all this shit. And she did have a really nice lawyer. His name is Morgan Ross. I did see Ross in the codes. Oh, and the judge she had before the trial, her name was Laura. I saw her there too in the codes. This judge, I did not see his name anywhere. It was a male judge that resided over the trial. So, and this judge, he seemed to be nosy as Norse, because every time someone objected, he overruled everything. He wanted to have everything. And when I heard him speak, it is like the things that I sent out to the ether appeared to go through his mind. So between the judge and my daughter, between the judge and Ross, my daughter's lawyer, you know, Ross, like in Friends, and Morgan, you know, like a brokerage was there too. And so, like JP Morgan. So that's what he said, JP Morgan. So the between Ross and the judge, it appeared that my thoughts I sent out into the ether worked. However, you know, they did have my daughter on the wire. And they're not going to deal with that. And I'm not going to stand up and talk about it, you know. I did tell my daughter, You know, I'm not going to judge you for that because I know they had you on the wire. She did not seem to get mad at me or anything when I said that. You know, I have an attitude. She seemed to agree. So once we are done with the court and my daughter, she will get the prophet back in 6 weeks. She has things to do, but within the 6 weeks, she has like home visits. Like she can have overnight visits, the unsupervised. Within the 6 weeks, she just has to start all these different fucking programs. She doesn't have to pay for anything. They're going to pay for everything because my daughter is the monkey in the middle. Everyone she is going to come in contact with, they're going to get paid because they create jobs of her taking out children. Jobs are created. So now in the same day, like I say, all this shit seemed to be so strategically planned. So the same day at 1 o'clock, they came to do an inspection. You know, I'm in like this kind of government building that takes $2 or $3 off my rent, if you ask me. And I don't pay light and gas, just rent. So the day I sent my son back here about 10 minutes to 1. I asked him to come to the house, and because I had left and it was just him and his sister here. So I know they're getting dressed and this is out of order and that's out of order. So I sent my son here to, just straighten up a little. And, because they're going to come in between 1 and 4:30 to do the inspection. They got here maybe 1:20 to do the inspection. And it was like if you're on Section 8 type of inspection. So they only stayed 2 or 3 minutes and they were out the door. However, I want to say that on the way home, my knee hurt so bad. It took me and my daughter 20 minutes just to walk to the trolley. That only takes about 5. Because my knee hurt so bad, I could barely bend it. And the closer I got to the house, the more my knee hurted. I just knew my knee was swollen. I told my daughter I was going to put some alcohol on it. For me, if it's a pain, put alcohol on it. If you are sick, it's your stomach, your head, drink some water. That's just me. However, we get back to the house and I come in the door. As soon as I come in the door, the same way I stepped out the door, that frequency hit my knee. When I stepped in the door, my knee stopped hurting. My knee stopped hurting. You hear me? It wasn't even sore. My knee stopped hurting. So I knew it was them and their strategic things. So I know I talk because, they told me, send me a message, a subliminal message, say you talk too much. So I'm sure I've talked too much in this video. We're 18 minutes in, so I'm going to cut it out. But I did want you to know that, Juneteenth, I don't celebrate it like that. But it just made me feel so good that it was Juneteenth. And they called my grandbaby a Queen Israel. And the name Israel, it let me know we are somewhat free. She does not have the slave master's name. Juneteenth. And my baby girl, they were going to barbecue her. If I had not shown up and used my mind, that's all I can use against them is my mind. I don't deal with weapons. The only gun I have is a glue gun. And in order to really hurt you with that glue gun, I have to plug it up. Then I have to wait for it to get hot. But once it get hot, and if I throw that glue on your ass and start to glue your ass with the glue gun, that shit will burn the fuck out of you. So, and then I have shit like this. And scissors. I don't have actual weapons of war. And so I'm going to say shit talker out, and I'm coming back. Like he wrote. Not shit talker out, but shit talker like he wrote.